Your series tomorrow is titled From Doubt to Direction, The Questions That Changed My Life. Do you mind telling people about your story and I guess what you'll be talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit about my story. I talk about earlier on in my journey in my life, I was diagnosed with a disease called Still's disease, and it's a disease that affects your joints. It's excruciatingly painful, very debilitating if it's left untreated. And so I'd been given this diagnosis, and I spent a lot of time navigating through doctors' offices, and with my mom, we were frequent flyers via rail, I should say, from Sarnia to Toronto Sick Kids Hospital. So had a lot to learn with this as I was growing up, and certainly I never let it define me, my disability define me, or my diagnosis define me. And as I approached my 18th birthday, I actually thought I was going to outgrow it. So I'd been given the chance that I would, and certainly was excited for that and thought that was a possibility. But unfortunately, the disease really took over my hips, and I started to lose the ability to do things, everyday things that I at one time had taken for granted, things like being able to bend over and pick up something that fell on the floor or cross my legs. Everything became so painful. Wow. And so I relied on other people around me, which is really hard for somebody that values independence to be able to ask for help all the time. And so I come to this place or this mindset where I felt so defeated and so sorry for myself that I was going through this. And I'd actually one day made a list of all of these limitations that I had, like in a quiet moment, can't do this, can't do that. And it would have been really easy for me to stay in that space or that mindset. But I knew that there was more out there for me than my list of limitations. And so in a defining moment, I had made a second list, and I thought, up until this point, I've been so focused on what I can't do. I'd never considered what was possible or what I could do, something new. So I started to create a list of possibilities and follow that. And incidentally, I got really lucky because I met an orthopedic surgeon who changed my life, replaced both of my hips. Wow. So I was able to walk again one step at a time, pain-free. And the neat thing was I could go back to that first list and do a lot of the things that lived on that page again. Not all of them, but and not as well for some of them, but I didn't care because my direction had come from what I created on the second list. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, mindset, the power of changing your focus from what you can't do to what you can do. Sometimes that's by asking yourself better questions. I'm going to talk about overcoming obstacles, some of them that I've personally had to do on my journey, and what I've learned about confidence and where that comes from, coming from evidence, and share some experience that I've had that have shaped my journey to bring me where I am today, and how I'm bringing those experiences right home to teach my children that same mindset so that they grow up looking at possibilities instead of limitations.
Wow.